A land untouched by law. A world ruled by instinct, courage, and survival. Beyond the edge of civilization, the frontier held secrets older than empires. The forest was alive. The river spoke. The wind carried the whispers of those who had learned to listen. Empires arrived, claiming what they did not understand. Steel clashed with spirit. Order confronted freedom. And in the middle of it all, one man walked alone. Hawkeye. Not bound by crown or flag, trained in the ways of the wild, silent, swift, and true. War spread like fire. Allies vanished. Decisions became final. Every step forward demanded courage beyond reckoning. Amid danger, a connection formed. Two worlds collided. Duty met desire. Courage met consequence. Hope emerged where none was expected. Yet the frontier demanded a price. Every life measured by loss. When the battle ended, only memory remained. And the land remembered everything. This is not a tale of victory. It is the last breath of a people who refused to be erased. The last of the Mohicans. Before the world was divided by borders, before the land was measured, sold, and conquered, there was a silence that spoke louder than any empire. A silence broken only by the wind through ancient trees, the breath of rivers carving their path through time, and the heartbeat of a people who belonged not to the land, but with it. This was not a forgotten age. This was the last breath of a world that refused to be erased. They were the Mohicans, a people shaped by the forest, guided by the spirit of the earth, and bound by laws older than written history. They did not conquer nature, they listened to it. They did not dominate the land, they became part of it. For generations their lives flowed in harmony with the rhythm of rivers and the whisper of leaves. But harmony has always been fragile in the shadow of greed. As the 18th century dawned, a new world arrived with fire, steel, and hunger. Empires crossed oceans not to discover, but to claim. Kings who had never seen these forests sent armies to fight over soil they could not understand. The land became a battlefield for ambitions born far away, and the native world was caught between forces it did not create. In this collision of worlds, a man stood apart. He was known as Hawkeye. A man without a nation, yet loyal to a truth greater than flags and crowns. Raised by Chingachgook, the Mohican elder, and his son Uncas, Hawkeye learned the language of the wilderness. He learned to move without sound, to see without illusion, and to fight not for glory, but for survival. Their bond was not written in bloodlines, but forged in spirit. Together they became a bridge between a dying world and a rising empire. War soon consumed the land. The French and Indian War turned forests into graveyards and rivers into silent witnesses. It was not a war of the native people, yet they paid the highest price. Amid the chaos, fate intertwined unlikely paths. Cora and Alice Munro, daughters of a British colonel, were drawn into the wilderness where certainty vanished and destiny took its place. Guided by Hawkeye, Uncas, and Chingachgook, their journey became more than survival. It became transformation. In the heart of danger, love emerged where it should not have survived. Between Hawkeye and Cora grew a bond that defied race, class, and empire. It was not born of comfort, but of courage. She saw in him a freedom untouched by civilization. He saw in her a strength that endured, even as the world collapsed around them. But the forest gives, and the forest takes. Their path was shadowed by Magua, a man shaped by loss and vengeance. His hatred was not born of cruelty, but of betrayal and grief. Through him, the true tragedy of conquest was revealed. No one escaped its damage. Not native, not foreign. All were broken in different ways by the hunger of empires. As the fires of war spread, the Mohicans fought not for dominance, but for existence. Their numbers faded, their songs grew quiet. Uncas fell, brave and unyielding, his loyalty written into the soil of his homeland. Chingachgook stood over his son, carrying the weight of an ending no father should bear. In that moment, the world seemed to pause, as if the land itself mourned the loss of its last true children. The age of the Mohicans did not end in defeat, it ended in dignity. They did not vanish, they transformed. Their spirit became the forest. Their memory flowed into the rivers. Their courage echoed in every mountain and valley. Hawkeye walked on, alone between worlds, carrying their truth where words could not reach. He became not a conqueror, but a witness. He had seen the cruelty of greed and the purity of love. He understood that freedom is not granted by kings or written into laws. It lives within those who dare to protect it. In every generation, there are those who stand between what is forgotten and what must be remembered. Those who carry the fire, even when the world grows cold. The Mohicans are gone, yet they are everywhere. In the whisper of leaves at dawn, in the cry of the hawk above the trees, in the quiet moments when the earth seems to breathe. Their story is not a relic of the past. It is a mirror, showing what humanity loses when it forgets its roots. When we destroy the land, we destroy a part of ourselves. When we betray love, we silence the spirit that once made us whole. Centuries passed, forests thinned, rivers were chained, the songs of the earth faded beneath the roar of machines. Yet something endured, a memory older than stone, a truth buried too deep to erase. At dawn, when fog drapes the valleys, their presence can still be felt. Not as ghosts of sorrow, but as guardians of balance. Legend says Hawkeye never truly died. He became the keeper of the fire, a spirit walking between humanity and the wild. When storms rise, that is his voice reminding the world that harmony must be restored. In every age, one carries that fire, a protector, a wanderer, one who understands that the world is not ours to own, but ours to honor. At the edge of the last forest, where dawn meets silence, the spirits gather. They sing not of loss, but of rebirth. The universe remembers. Everything is connected. We are not separate from the wild. We are the wild. And if you ever stand beneath an ancient tree and listen closely, you may hear it call you not as a stranger, but as kin. As long as there are those who protect, who love, who walk in balance, the spirit of the Mohicans will never die. Legends are not written in books. They are written in the wind, in the silence after thunder, and in the hearts of those who still dare to dream. And when the world grows quiet, one truth remains, strong and eternal. We are still here. If you stayed until this moment, it means this story spoke to you. And stories like this do not belong in silence. They survive only when they are shared, questioned, and remembered. By subscribing, liking, and leaving a comment, you are not supporting a channel. You are keeping these forgotten truths alive. Write what you felt. Write what you believe. Become part of the voices that refuse to let history fade. Stay with us, because the next story is already waiting for those who dare to remember.